Many years ago, um, when I was going through one of the toughest times. I was going through a bad divorce. I was going through all sorts of stuff. Um, it was really bad, and also my relationship. This is when I was starting my relationship with the Lord, and the Lord was showing me things, exposing things in me, that was going on to help me with the unforgiveness, with all sorts of things, with the assault that happened. He was just really, really doing a work. And honestly, to everybody on the outside, I was just a whole mess. Okay, that's what it looked like. And a lot of things, it just got worse. Well, during this time, and this is not what this is about, but right before, was the night that my husband and his family kicked me off the land and where our RV and everything was. My aunt actually was in the hospital dying. Okay, she was dying, and I had got off work late that night, and I was telling my husband like, hey, I need to go and see my aunt and everything, and he was like, you could go and see her, and I'm like, so you want me to drive like late at night by myself, like well over an hour away? And so we got into like a big argument or whatever. And granted, this is not, anytime like anything like this happened, he was never there. He was never there when someone in my family died. It was just the norm. But I expected him to be there because this was my aunt. You know what I'm saying? Like people, it was my aunt. And no. So I got kicked out that night. And then when it came around to my aunt's funeral and everything, the very people that tried to destroy me, they couldn't find a place, to bury my aunt or whatever, but they actually made a deal with the people and the family of this church that actually did all this stuff to me, concerning my aunt, for her to have for them to have the funeral there and everything. And they came to me and asked me, could I put aside my differences with these people, so that she could be buried. And I just, I was like, I was hurt, but you know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious? So I was like, sure, why not? Because that's what I've always did, put aside things that people did to me for the sake of others. I mean, yeah, be the sacrifice. So yeah, I did. Okay. And with that being said, is that the day of the funeral, I went to the funeral and everything around these very people that tried to destroy me. The man I was married to, this is his family, tried to kill me multiple times, all this stuff. So I went, okay? I went, and I did. And I think probably like before the funeral, my aunt, and they was practicing, they was talking about this song, thank you, I give myself away. So I told them to sing it so I could, get up like, how it goes. So when they start singing it, I realized I did know that song. I didn't know all the words, but I knew it. So we started like, I was singing like a little bit, like not really like with them, but I was like, okay, I got it. So I had prepared, and this happens a lot, like a lot of times when I get ready to sing, that's a whole nother story. I would not do it in front of people. But the day of the funeral and everything, when we was there, when they got called up to sing, I kept feeling this pull like to go up, and I didn't. I let my aunt and uncle and their daughter just sing, because I was supposed to sing with them, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But when they started singing, no lie, when they started singing, and this is back when when you had to wear a mask and everything, and I stood up and I just started singing, and I ripped my mask off. And when I ripped my mask off, I was like singing. And I'm going to tell you, this is very, very important what I'm talking about. And when I start singing, I felt like a breaking. Okay. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't. So when they got done with everything, and I remember there were people telling me to sit down and all this kind of stuff, I was like, I can't. I could not. There was something got a hold of me. I could not sit. Okay, so my cousin, he had to come and he helped me out. And as soon as because I was holding on to the bench before me, because if I would have let go, I would have fell straight on the floor. But I felt the power hit me. So I knew. I automatically knew what it was. And so when they took me out, they was like, hey, is it your sciatic nerve or whatever? And I'm looking at them like they're crazy. Like, no, I know exactly what this is. And they was like, all this stuff. I said, it was God. And I saw like the looks on people's faces, like the look, like, you know what I'm saying? And I saw like some pastors and stuff whispering and all this kind of stuff. But I had people after them just kept coming to me like, are you sure it's not your sciatic nerve and all this kind of, I'm positive, okay? And that's what the thing about it is as well, is that even when the power of God is upon a person and the thing is and falls upon them, people will never recognize the truth because why? They don't know what the truth is. For years, I could not praise the Lord. I could not sing, okay? And I need you to listen to me. For years. So before then, with my first marriage, when I was in church and everything, came to the Lord when I was like 18 years old, you know, I couldn't sing or praise the Lord. I couldn't do it. I couldn't lift up my hands and sing. Now, the same thing happened with my second husband. So I started asking questions like, God, why? Because this is not me. So why do I feel like I can't sing and praise the Lord? Like, you know, I don't understand it. So because I evaluated myself, then God showed me that it was my husband. No different than the one before, because of they had the spirit of guilt and shame upon them. So they was pushing that off on me to try to make me feel guilt or shame. But by my second husband, I didn't have no guilt or shame. You see what I'm saying? In the first one, I shouldn't have felt guilt or shame, but that's the way how it was. I would always take on other people feelings and emotions and just like absorb it. And I did not know. I was unaware that I was doing that. So God showed me that kept me, that spirit that was upon them, these people that came into my life to block my praise, to block my worship, to block all of that. And that's what they were doing. So what happened at my aunt's when she died and at that funeral, and I know there was something spiritual about that pertaining even to her, it broke right in front of the people that tried to destroy me. God released me right there in front of them, because you got to understand that there has been generations of things between my family and this family as well. That's a whole nother story. But God broke it off me in their presence of everything, the curse and everything. It's a lot. But he broke it off right there in front of them so they could see. This is the person. The very one you tried to destroy, this one. And those who could recognize and see, even with my own family, it was for them to see too. This one you mishandled, this one, all this kind of stuff, this one. Okay. So not only when God broke me and released those chains off me, I was able and am able to praise the Lord, to worship the Lord. And that spirit that is behind that as well is called Leviathan. Okay. Leviathan does that as well. You know, not only does it twist words, but it is there to actually stop you from praising the Lord as well. Okay, that was what the spirits was in both of my husbands that I had married. So this has been a common thing throughout my life to come in contact with these type of spirits that is meant to take you out. Okay, and that's what they're there, not only physically, mentally, but also spiritually as well, to make sure you will never walk into your purpose. Okay, that's why they're there. Okay, everybody's life is not the same. Everybody's life is different. Be aware of that, okay? Just because you haven't experienced anything, it means absolutely nothing. Now, with that being said, is that I'm telling you this because a lot of times, if you cannot praise and worship the Lord, look in your environment, in your atmosphere. The person that is there, a lot of times, and it's close. A lot of times, it be your spouse, your mother, your children. Yes, your children. Like there will be spirits there that is keeping you, that is always opposing what God has in you to stop you from moving forward in advancement in the kingdom. And a lot of these people are actually called as well, but their pride has taken over. You know what I'm saying? And they never move forward with the Lord. Actually, they end up 6 feet under. That's another story in itself. But with that being said, is that because while they're trying to stop the call of the Lord upon your life, and not only that you're called, you're chosen. So the thing is that they don't understand that. So when a lot of times when people don't understand what they see, they try to stop it. That's what people do. And the enemy use that to the advantage to try to destroy them.